Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing what I believe are the best resorts for families in 2024 at Walt Disney World. I'm gonna take you through each resort category, the value, moderate, deluxe, and Disney Vacation Club, and we are gonna talk about the best resorts specifically for families this year. Before we jump in, if you are just beginning the Disney planning process and maybe you've never been to Disney before or you haven't been in several years, I actually just filmed a Disney World planning guide for 2024. So I take you through every single step of the planning process and I break it down for you in one video so you know exactly what to do and how to move forward. So I'll have that video linked down below if you want to dive a little bit deeper, but let's go ahead and jump into the best resorts for 2024. Let's start with the value category. This is gonna be your most affordable, budget-friendly option, and the resort that I think is gonna be the best for families, especially if you have little kids, is Pop Century. So let me go over some of the pros of this resort and why this is my #1 pick out of all the values. What really sets Pop Century apart is being right on the Skyliner. So you have direct access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, as compared to with the All-Star resorts, you only have bus access. So you do get an additional transportation perk by staying at Pop Century. Now, I realize you also have that same perk of being on the Skyliner over at Art of Animation, and the theming there is really fun, but I do feel like the rooms could use a little bit of updating. So that's where Pop Century, I think, has a little bit of a leg up, where the rooms are clean, they're fresh, they've been newly renovated, and I just prefer those rooms a little bit better than what I've seen over at Art of Animation, especially if you're not looking to be in one of the suites and you just need a standard Disney hotel room with 2 queen beds. I really feel like Pop Century is gonna be everything you're looking for. You are gonna pay a slight upcharge from the All-Star resorts, but for the sake of being on the Skyliner, I really feel like that little bit of a price difference makes it worth it, especially if you have a stroller. Not having to break down the stroller to get on Disney transportation is a big deal. The only caveat to this is if you do have a double wide stroller, you will have to break that one down, but all other stroller styles that can fit easily through the Skyliner doors of your gondola, you don't have to break those down. So that is a huge perk of getting over to Epcot and Hollywood Studios directly from Pop Century and not having to worry about the hassle of breaking everything down, getting things out of the basket if you have things attached to your stroller. You know, it can be a whole process to try to collapse your stroller. So not having to worry about that, getting on the Skyliner, is a huge perk of being at Pop Century. Another reason Pop Century is my #1 pick for the value category is because you're on the Skyliner, it also gives you a lot of other dining options. So in addition to having easy access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, you also have really easy access to Caribbean Beach, Riviera, and Art of Animation, which opens up a lot of fun dining options. So it really expands your food options when you're staying at Pop Century, whereas when you are at the All-Stars, you're kind of locked in there, and if you want to check out any of the other resorts, you have to get on a bus, head over to a park, and then from there take another bus to whatever resort you're wanting to, or of course you can get an Uber or minivan, but you're pretty much locked in at the All-Stars, whereas at Pop Century, you can hop on the Skyliner and it takes you all over. So you could take the Skyliner to Epcot and check out the boardwalk and beach and yacht club area and all of those dining options. And again, the Riviera, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, like it's all connected on the Skyliner. So it really opens up a lot of fun options that you wouldn't have at the All-Star Resort. So that is another huge pro and why I think Pop Century is really great for families. Next, let's talk about the moderate category. The resort that I think is the best option for families is Caribbean Beach. Now, there are a lot of really incredible moderate resort options, but again, being on the Skyliner, you just can't beat. But I know we've talked about the Skyliner a little bit with Pop Century now, so let's talk about some of the other features of Caribbean Beach that I think makes it really great for families and why this is my #1 pick for the moderate resort category. The first pro of Caribbean Beach is that you are in walking distance to the Riviera Resort, and their dining options are incredible there. So you have really easy access to Topolino's Terrace and Primo Piatto and Bar Riva. Bekah. So 3 of my all-time favorite dining options you have direct walking access to. So depending where you're located at the resort, it could be anywhere from a 5 to 15 minute walk, but really amazing that you have such easy access to a beautiful resort like Riviera, and you can take advantage of all of their dining. Now, the pools are going to be exclusive to just the guests at Riviera, but all dining is fair game for anyone. You do not have to be staying at Riviera to take advantage of their dining, which is really nice. Another reason Caribbean Beach is so great for families, especially with little kids, is their main feature pool and their splash pad. Y'all, it is so fun. The theming is just over the top. It has this pirate shipwreck theme to it, which is really fun. And then they have an awesome playground in the middle of the resort. If you cross over on the bridge, there's this middle island area, and it also has this open lawn where they do movies under the stars. But it's such a beautiful location because you can see the Skyliner off in the distance, and the sunset is just gorgeous from this angle, and you have the Riviera in the background. I mean, just the views are spectacular. So this is a really fun area for kids to just run and play. And then the playground here is really fun. It's not just your simple like rinky-dink playground, you know. This is actually like a legit playground. I had a hard time peeling my daughter away from the playground because she loved it more than the parks and the pools, and you know, it's funny how that happens, but it's that good of a playground. So I think that's why Caribbean Beach is such a fun resort for families. And I just love the beachy theme, and you have the sand and the hammocks, and you know, another really fun area for kids to play all throughout the resort. It's just a beautiful resort to explore and walk around. And lastly, of course, you are right on the Skyliner. I know I talked about the pros of being on the Skyliner with Pop Century, but specifically with Caribbean Beach, you have access to both Skyliner stations. So over at Riviera, you can hop on that Skyliner and head directly over to Epcot. And you also have the main Skyliner hub that's located at Caribbean Beach. So you can get anywhere you're wanting to go without actually needing to exit the gondola and transfer stations, because Caribbean Beach is the hub station. So that is a huge pro. You're able to get to wherever you're going much, much quicker. And you also have your own Joffrey's location at the Skyliner hub, which is really nice that you can grab an iced coffee or a pink donut, or you know, whatever your thing is, as you're on your way to the parks in the morning. So that's another nice perk of that specific Skyliner station. Moving on to the deluxe category, this is where it gets really tricky for me because I love the deluxe resorts. So trying to narrow it down and give a recommendation for what I believe the best resort for families would be in 2024 is really challenging, because all of the deluxe resorts are amazing. You can't go wrong. But I do think there are a couple specific resorts that I think would be a better fit for families than others. So I actually have a couple of resorts in this category. So let's start with the first one, which is the Grand Floridian. Now, I think it's funny because I feel like the Grand Floridian has a reputation that feels unapproachable for families, but in my opinion, I feel the exact opposite about the Grand Floridian. I think it is such a warm and cozy and homey resort. And so to hear that some people might feel that this resort is stuffy or snobby or not kid friendly, I have never felt that. And we have stayed at this resort a handful of times, and every time is just as amazing and just as magical when I'm there with my toddler and now preschooler. Like, we have had some of the most incredible Disney trips when we stay at the Grand Floridian. So let me go through some of the pros of this resort and why I think it's a good fit for families with young kids. First, the proximity to Magic Kingdom is incredible. You're about a 10 to 15 minute walk to the front entrance of the park, and that includes going through security. You have your own dedicated security line, which is usually empty because it's just guests coming from either the Polynesian or Grand Floridian. So it's really easy to just zip right through, and you are at the front gates of Magic Kingdom. So the proximity is incredible, which makes getting to the park with kids so much easier. You don't have to worry about the hassle of any Disney transportation. You do have other transportation options to Magic Kingdom though. So let's say it's raining, you can head over on the monorail, or you can head over on the boat if it's like, you know, a light drizzle. If it's like thunderstorming, then they probably won't be doing the boats, but you do have access to the monorail and the boat that'll take you over to Magic Kingdom. And by being directly on the monorail, monorail, you also have access to the Contemporary, the Ticket and Transportation Center, which will transfer you over to Epcot, and the Polynesian. So all of these different stops are just part of being on the monorail, which is just incredible. The transportation perks alone make this resort incredible for families. Another pro of this resort for families is the pool situation. There are 2 main pools. Both are 0 entry, which is perfect for little kids. And you also have a really fun splash pad that's themed to Alice in Wonderland. So if you are a family who would want a dedicated pool day or multiple dedicated pool days, and maybe you're wanting to scale back on the number of park days and you plan on spending more time at your resort and that's just how your family likes to vacation, the Grand Floridian would be a really fantastic fit for you. Another pro for families at this resort is all of the dining options. You have a lot to choose from. There are signature options that are a little more pricey. You're gonna have a little bit more of an elevated dining experience, but honestly, I love going to the signature restaurants with my preschooler. I feel like the kids' menu at these signature restaurants are just top notch and you have some of the best options, but you also have some more casual dining options and you have a quick service style kind of grab and go option as well. You also have the pool bars. So again, tons of different options. If you're wanting chicken fingers or if you're wanting a filet, you can have it all at the Grand Floridian. So whatever your family's style is, and maybe your style changes day to day, maybe you want the fancy pool day and the whole thing with the signature dining, and then the next day you want Magic Kingdom and grab and go chicken fingers, you can get both at the Grand Floridian. I always feel right at home when I stay at this resort, and whenever we come home from Disney, this is the resort that my preschooler will continually ask about and talk about when we are home. So I want to believe it's her favorite as well. And it's always been a great fit when we bring other family with us as well. It has something for everybody. And again, you really can't beat the proximity to Magic Kingdom and all of the transportation perks that you have by staying at this resort. So that is the first deluxe resort that I think is the best for families in 2024. And an honorable mention has to go to the Riviera Resort. Now, surprisingly, the Riviera does not make my top 3 deluxe resort list if I had to pick for myself personally, but I do think the Riviera offers a lot for families specifically. So again, I don't need to keep going on about the Skyliner, right? You're right on the Skyliner. You have access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. I mean, it's amazing. But the pools and the splash pad and all of the dining options, I think that's really what makes this resort shine. And again, the location to the parks, you're right on the Skyliner, all of the amenities of this resort, I feel like that's what makes it so family friendly. If your family is gonna spend more time at Epcot or Hollywood Studios over Magic Kingdom, I feel like the Riviera would be my next choice when you're looking at proximity to the parks and what's gonna be the best fit when you're traveling with kids or your entire family, what's gonna offer the most for everyone of all ages that you're traveling with. And I feel like the Riviera has it all. So I had to give a quick honorable mention to the Riviera. I do love that resort. It is beautiful, it's stunning. You have the location, you're on the Skyliner, the dining, the pools, it has it all. So I couldn't move on from the deluxe category without mentioning the Riviera. Lastly, we're going to talk about Disney Vacation Club and what I believe the best DVC resort for families is in 2024. Now, if you are unfamiliar, Disney Vacation Club is Disney's version of a timeshare. Anyone could buy into this. You basically purchase a certain number of points to have every year, and you can use these points at Disney Vacation Club resorts year after year. But you do not have to be a Disney Vacation Club owner to stay at a Disney Vacation Club resort. You have a couple of different options on how you can stay here, even if you're not a DVC member. The first option is to go directly through the Disney website and just pay cash. This is going to be the most expensive option. Your other option is to rent Disney Vacation Club points, and I will link my video below where I explain that entire process and share a little bit more about it. If you're looking to save at deluxe resorts, this is the way to go. So I'll have that video down below for you to check out. But renting someone's points is a great way to experience Disney Vacation Club without becoming a DVC member. So anyone can stay in a DVC studio. They have 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, grand villas, lots of different options here. But the DVC resort that I think is the best fit for families in 2024 is Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge. And these are technically two different DVC properties, but they are both located at the Wilderness Lodge. So this is the DVC portion of this resort. So you are essentially staying at Wilderness Lodge, but that is what these two different DVC categories are called. I'm including these two together because you really get the same perks and amenities. Whether you stay at Copper Creek or Boulder Ridge, you're gonna have the same experience no matter which category you go. So I wanted to clarify that, but let's talk about the main pro and the biggest draw to stay at the Wilderness Lodge, AKA Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge. The first reason I think this resort is really great for families is that you feel like you are secluded, but you're a 10-minute boat ride away from Magic Kingdom. You have this secluded luxury cabin type resort feel, but you're just minutes away from Magic Kingdom. It's kind of a surreal experience, and I think it's amazing because I feel like it really fosters that family connection that we all crave when we're on vacation, and you get to slow down a little bit when you stay at Boulder Ridge or Copper Creek. And when you rent Disney Vacation Club points, this puts you in a villa that gives you a kitchenette, or if you stay in a 1 or 2 bedroom, you have a full kitchen and a washer and dryer. So you do feel a little more like you're at home in a sense. You're able to cook breakfast and eat with your family in your villa. It's a very different experience than you're gonna get at any other Disney hotel. And I think that's why I love staying at Copper Creek. I've yet to stay at Boulder Ridge. It's definitely on my bucket list to stay on that side of Wilderness Lodge. But again, it's the same experience and you get the same feel, but I love this resort so much and I love the cozy atmosphere. And again, it just really cultivates that family connection, but you're minutes away from Magic Kingdom. It's pretty cool. The other pro of staying at Wilderness Lodge or Copper Creek or Boulder Ridge is all of the dining. So you do have some pretty fun dining options. You have the Whispering Canyon, you have storybook dining with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and the Evil Queen, and then you also have Geyser Point, which is one of my favorite Disney restaurants. And this is more of a lounge, more casual outdoor style dining experience. Love that it's that casual lounge style feel. They also have tables and chairs down by the water area where you can see the fireworks. You can take your food to go and head down there, and it just feels so cozy. I could go on and on and on about this resort, but I do feel like if you are going to rent Disney Vacation Club points, this is really where you get the most bang for your buck. You're gonna spend a little bit more when you jump over to the monorail DVC resorts, but staying a little bit off the beaten path. But again, you still have really easy access to Magic Kingdom, but you're gonna pay just a little bit less to stay at Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge. So you get that same experience. You're a little more secluded, but you're also right in the middle of the magic. You just kind of get it all. So Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge is hands down my top pick for the best DVC resort for families in 2024. That wraps it up for all the resort categories. Let me know down below in the comments what your top picks for each category would be. I would love to hear from you. And if you are a Disney first timer, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe to learn more about planning your Disney vacation and tips for taking little kids to Disney. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you did find this video helpful, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up. It really does help support my channel. And if you do have questions about any of the Disney resorts, leave them down below in the comments. I would love to chat with you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.